Hey everybody, Pastor Vern with the daily update for July 3rd, 2020, heading into 4th of July weekend and our first week back in worship in the buildings. Excuse me. We we've been going along about the women in the Bible, trying to pick out a few of them that are kind of interesting and that maybe has some connection to we're building a relationship with the Bible where we are more comfortable with going through the stories and having some background on them. One thing that kind of has kind of come to my mind during this week as I'd gone through several of the women and women's stories in the Bible and looked at a bunch of other things is that there's lots of bad girls in the Bible too, and I don't know if we should get into that or not. I'm going to try to decide whether we should go there next week or not. There's a lot of ladies who used a lot of different resources in order to influence people in one way or another, and we might have to look into that a little bit. Not sure yet how we're going to go with that, but today we're going to talk about and of course there can be several people by the same name in the scriptures also, especially since that is one of the we go by a lot of first names and so on, and of course as the world filled with people, those names were used over and over again. Today we're going to talk about, there's a couple Idahs in the Bible. The first one is the one we're going to talk about today. She was the wife of one of Lamech, one of the early people in the Bible. She's about I don't know, just several generations past Adam. She's the first woman named in the Bible after Eve, and she was also had for lack of a better term, a co-wife. That in this story, it's the first story where we see polygamy in the Bible. And some would say that this was a move that really God wasn't too much in favor of, because there was a lot of hardship brought into this life with these two women and the same husband. But I guess maybe you should do some reading on your own so you can judge that. One of the things about the word Adah, or the name Adah, it's purely a Hebrew name. It is a compound of a couple words that mean whom Jehovah adores, and an ornament of Jehovah. When I looked at some of the other sources, it just said ornament, and I thought I'd better look a little deeper into that, and that's what it meant, was an ornament of Jehovah. She was, like I say, she was the first named woman in the Bible after Eve. She one of the things that is noteworthy about her, other than the fact that she was in the first polygamy marriage recorded in the Bible, and that she was only a few generations from Adam and Eve, is that she was the mother of Jabal and Jabal. And they were both very famous. Jabal is I guess, the father of the nomadic tribes, the father of the nomadic ranchers that traveled, I guess if you want to use that term, across the Middle East. That was his offspring, continued to be the Bedouin type travelers of the Middle East, where they would take their flocks and their herds from place to place, and would use that type of resource to make their living. Jabal, the other son, the brother, he was the first musician in the world. He made the first music. He had created the genre of music by using musical instruments and crafting them and defining them, and became the father of music. Kind of an interesting combination of those two. One of them it was said in to some extent in one of the authors I read in the analysis of the Bible is the first brother was to make the family rich, and the second brother was to make the family entertained and merry. So that's kind of an interesting combination of brothers there that opened up some new directions that become very prominent in the Bible, because both music and the nomadic herdsmen of the scriptures play very prominent roles later on. All right. Well, you guys have a good 4th of July weekend. I'll try to shoot back with another episode of our dailies. That would be, what day is that going to be? About July 6th, and we'll kind of see how everything's going by then. We'll see how worship went this weekend. Stay safe. Help take care of others the best you can. Watch out for yourselves. Remember, if you're thinking about coming to worship this week, kind of evaluate your risk tolerance, and if you do come, please follow the instructions and the recommendations, so that we can have a worship time that is something that everyone can participate in. All right, you guys take care. We'll see you on Monday. Bye.